Thanks, Natasha. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for your precious time. It's wonderful to see so many people in the room, on any occasion, especially after what we've been through over the last 3 or 4 years. So wonderful. We really appreciate your time. My name's Scott Sawicki. I'm the Director of Managed Services here at Omni. I guess what I wanted to do first was share a little story about Slido with you all, because I know what it's like working it, and I love Slido myself. We did this at a recent event. I stood there, put the hashtag up, and everybody got their cameras out and took photos. It's the closest I think I'm ever going to be to being Ted Lasso, but it was there or thereabouts. It was just like a press conference. It was wonderful. So who are Omni? So I just want to give you a bit of a brief overview about who we are as a business. So our aim is to change the way organisations resource for the better. That's our single goal. We have 3 pillars that we work within. Recruitment, where we provide outsourcing solutions, be they RPO, MSP, or search and select. Our talent consultancy business, of which there are people dotted around the room today, and you'll see on the panels, where we provide advisory solutions in regards to assessment and selection, inclusive hiring, and with diverse candidates, looking for a diverse candidate pool. That inclusivity is so important, and we'll help people reach out and get those candidates, or whether that be through EVP or other methods of attraction. And talent development. So what are you doing with your talent? How are you retaining them? What are your hiring managers' activities in regards to getting people in and keeping them and making sure they perform within the organisation? So we've been around a little bit of time. We're an SME ultimately, and we very much have a values-led culture. So it's really, really important that the people that we work with meet the same kind of values as us and vice versa. Some of our clients, so we're very pleased to have Ofcom in the room today, and as you see, we'll do a showcase with Kerry Ann shortly. But here's a selection of some of the clients that we work in, both public and private sector. I think the most exciting for me at the moment is Kew Gardens, mainly because I'm a gardener and I'm a runner, and they do a 10K around there every September and April. So if I can sneak in with the team that are doing the training and the coaching there, that's fantastic. But it isn't always the case. But yes, some businesses that we work with. I guess what underpins what we do is our resourcing effectiveness assessments. This is part of our advisory and consultancy business. So we will come and work alongside HR, talent acquisition, and the groups that are involved in that process to look at what you are doing. It's an assessment and audit ultimately that looks at the people that work within your organisation, the D&I work that you do, what processes you have, and the technology you use. Sometimes that's underpinned by the cost of doing these things, and produce a roadmap for you. This is what talent acquisition can utilise to make themselves more effective, essentially. And within that, potentially we can offer services from time to time, again, whether that be market benchmarking, rates, rate information, assessment and selection, EVP and inclusive hiring, as I've talked about previously. So we've, again, a bunch of celebrities from Omni around the room today for you to talk to. One of the things we wanted to do, though, because this is very much about what we can do to complement you guys in the room, we produce a lot of research and data and reports and the analysis that goes behind those. So these are some of the tools that we use, but we very recently produced a research paper alongside IHR called the Modern Candidate Experience. So we reached out to nearly 1,000 candidates, both those that had been recently placed, were in the process, independently on LinkedIn polls and a variety of other sources. And what you can see on the charts here are some details in regards to who responded by industry type, by gender, etc., etc. So it was a large poll, and from that poll, we were able to draw some analysis from it. So the highlights of the analysis sit here. So what was key to the candidate experience, whether that be communications and what they go through, how quick the process is, transparency in job adverts, in the different stages an individual is going to have to go through, how does it match the brand and the values that I've seen. Now, I won't go through everything, but I'll give you some statistics that we pulled out, and obviously we'll share this report with everybody afterwards, and anybody wants to talk to us about it, we're happy to give more info for it. So overall from the pool, 63% of candidates had had an unhappy experience with communications. i.e. when are they getting feedback? And I know as a recruiter of 25 years experience, that's what I've always wanted myself, or always asked my clients to give. It matters for the candidates. So 63%, two-thirds of people are unhappy with the level of communication. So can you improve that by using technologies? Is it a manpower issue? What can you guys do to improve that? 56% of people will drop out of the process if it takes too long. They simply don't have the patience. As you've seen from all the other analysis out there in the market, there are a wave of jobs, so I can go and find another job. And I saw, it was at LinkedIn Forward, Dr. Elizabeth Philby introduced a stat for us that if you're hiring millennials, 9 out of 10 millennials will still be looking for jobs when you've given them a job offer and they've accepted it. They won't be sitting still, so you've got to make sure that post-offer, you're staying very close to those candidates to onboard them. 33% of people rank feedback at each stage as being key, and again where they would drop out. In regards to the inclusive piece, 52% of females absolutely seek home or hybrid working as an essential nowadays. So what can we do to ensure that we're able to facilitate that? And finally, 75% of the candidates we asked looked at Indeed. Now, some people may be a bit snobby about Indeed, some may not, but candidates go to Indeed first, above LinkedIn, above any other job board, so it may be worth reassessing. And we spoke to an organisation about it recently, Curry & Brown, so they're a consulting engineering business. They've got a free trial with Indeed to see if it works for them, because they just had said, no, our engineers, our commercial managers, they won't look there, but it's worth having a look back at that. And then finally, in regards to the transparency bit, 45% of people will reject jobs if you're paying them or you're offering them pay that's different to what is advertised. You've got to have that clarity and that transparency within the job advert and the conversations that are happening throughout the process. So yes, we'll share that report with you. There's a lot of data and information in it. And we also published this week a quarterly markets insight report. So anybody read the news on the train this morning or coming in on the tube? KPMG and the REC were also quoted today. The themes are probably as you would expect. So recruitment intentions overall in the market remain very similar. Redundancies are down. Job vacancies are also down. And we see strangely, employment and unemployment both rising, but that's because of the volume of roles that have been out there in the market. Now, while that may be reducing now, it's only coming down from the highest point in history, essentially. So the market is still very, very strong. One of the key trends that we've also seen are that organisations are taking on strategic contractors and are looking to keep those strategic contractors while they wait to make a perm hire. And also, one of the reasons redundancies are falling is the anxiety about going into a recession or a light recession or coming out of it and not being able to re-attract the talent because it's so hard to find it now. Can we afford as an organisation to keep the people we've got for when the upturn happens? So again, very happy to share that information. And then finally from me, we work very closely with the CIPD. Katie Noble, who's sitting over here, is hosting our panel later. Katie hosted and curated a 2-day event recently for employer brand and recruitment. And it was really interesting. Natasha talked about the meal we had in Manchester recently where there were 16 delegates, a bit like today, all like sardines. It's good that people are oversubscribing now. But everybody around that table talked about what can we do about employer brand. And I think there were over 100 delegates in the room at the CIPD conference, as well as it being virtual. And some of the key takeaways were, where am I going to get my ROI from? I may know what to do, and I may have the information, but what am I going to do with it? Also, I've got limited budget and stakeholder ownership might sit in another part of my business if I work for a larger organisation. So what can we do? And the key themes really were authenticity and advocacy. Now, clearly, advocacy is free. If you can engage with your employees for them to promote you, then you're going to do that free. Again, one of the ladies that unfortunately wasn't able to attend today, a lady called Narida from Kia. If you look at Kia Construction, they're running a fantastic campaign at the moment about I am proud, which is a strong message anyway, and it's got people in the construction industry, who they are outside of work and who they are inside of work. And she said the hits that she's done from LinkedIn have been stratospheric compared to what they normally do, and it's just simply 2 photos and a sentence. Now, obviously, you've got to find those advocates, but it's very, very important to do so. And interestingly, a takeaway from a huge organisation, so Barclays presented on the day, TikTok is a big thing. Now, not only is it a big thing for advertising, but as a search engine. And again, depending on the demographics of where you're looking to attract people, it's one that perhaps cannot be ignored at the moment. Now, who knows whether TikTok will be around in America? You know, they've turned the internet has turned it off essentially, but for the moment it is this. It's something, again, something like Indeed to consider. And if I can go, and so can all of you and your teams. So there's no problem in doing that. So listen, again, thanks again for your time today. Enjoy the refreshments and the conversation, the peer-to-peer learning, and really hope you get out of today what you can do. Thanks very much.